This is the 911 operator. We received a phone call from there. Will anyone need any medical help or anything like that?
It's very insidious. When you're in a bad relationship, you really don't even see it happening.
He's a little out of control, but please don't send anybody.
It's absolute shame of this is where my life is. And this is what I've done to myself, and I don't want anybody to know.
All of a sudden there was a backpack with my clothes in it and a toothbrush, and we're running down the driveway for our life to get in the car before he can get to us.
We began services in 1976 and were stunned by the amount of phone calls that we received from women who were being battered.
My son was in first grade, and he told his teacher that he was afraid to sleep in his bedroom because when Dad comes in to kill everybody, he wanted to kill him first, so this way he didn't have to see everybody else die.
I was probably maybe like 4 or 5 years old. I remember opening the windows, screaming for help out the windows. I remember picking up the phone to try to call 911, and as I'm dialing, the phone cord's getting ripped out of the wall. My mom was standing in the middle of the living room, and I look at her, and I look over at him, and he pointed the gun at her. All I thought of is, don't kill my mom. So I ran and wrapped my arms around her and held her as tight as I could, because if he was gonna kill her, I didn't want to be without her.
And I said, please just, can you move out, like we just need a break. And he said, I'm not leaving. And if you try to leave, I will kill you. I will bury you in the mountains. Nobody will ever find you. And they'll just think you were a new mom who just couldn't handle it.
He pulled out a gun and put it to my head, and I said, do it. I can't live like this. And he shot past me, right into the cabinet. Do you think that that would have been enough for me to leave him? No. What did I do? I get out wood putty. Did a really good job on hiding evidence.
People stay for all kinds of reasons, not realizing that staying in a relationship where there's battery and abuse really has terrible effects on the family unit and on the children.
One of the things that really stood out to me was that so many times the women would finally have the courage to leave when their children were being threatened.
He had me backed up against a wall and literally punched a hole in the wall right next to my face. My mom told me that she was amazed, one, because he swung, but more because she said my hair blew, but I never flinched. And that was my moment when I was done. And I think at that moment is when my mom was done.
There was a period of time where our daughter actually would go, back and forth, and I kept saying, this isn't safe and this isn't safe. Once my daughter was hurt, the courts did have to step in, and my ex-husband actually went to jail.
Children are present or involved in over 30% of assaults. We're so proud to be celebrating 40 years of service to families in our community. We started with a hotline, then we added the emergency shelter, we later added counseling, family court assistance, support at police departments and hospitals, programming for children through Amanda Ziesel Creative Art Therapy Program, and many more services.
180 is so unique. I could go to one place in the court and get access to everything.
And having a place, a forum with all women who aren't shocked and aren't judging you and telling you, well, why don't you just leave? You can't just leave.
What 180 does is it gives you a place where you don't have to be ashamed, and you don't have to feel guilty, but you can feel support. They just want to help you get out of that situation.
And we need to continue that work because sadly there are more families and more children that need that type of support.
When you support 180, you're supporting our entire community.
As we look to the future, we're going to need support to keep the programming and services available, because those are the things that make the difference in families' lives.
I probably would have went back if it wasn't for 180, because I didn't have anything. And 180 gave me a new start in life.
My mother was a victim of domestic violence. I was a victim of domestic violence, but we're survivors. My mom's alive. My brother's doing well. If it really wasn't for 180, I don't know if my mom would still be here today.